Guiding light, presented by today's Ivory Liquid with its Young Hands formula that helps hands look young again.
Bam! Hands! And bam! Sam! Hands! Oh, hands on deck! Yes! Why didn't you just stick out your hands?
These old-looking hands embarrass me. Darn housework hands look so old.
Hi! Why, I'm Mary Miles, here to introduce today's Ivory Liquid. Head's hands look young again. Kind of like you had a maid. Like me, to do your dishes.
Better than mine?
Only Ivory Liquid detergent has this special formula.
Young Hands formula. Creamy white.
Ivory Mild. Makes longer-lasting suds, too. Proper hand-cared Ivory Liquid will make your hands look young again. Come on! We're playing charades!
Your hands.
Now my hands look young again.
Well, come on!
Ivory Liquid helps your hands look young again. Young again!
Fancy finding you here.
Hi, Leslie. Have a seat.
Oh, I'd love to. Just a Coke, please.
I didn't expect to see you here. This is an old hangout of Peggy's and mine from our school days.
Old hangout from your school days. You make it sound like you've been out of school for just years and years.
Sometimes it feels like it. Oh, what are you up to?
Well, I just took the day off from work to go shopping. I know the hospital just can't do without me, but we girls just can't do without our shopping either. So I dropped in here for a Coke and got some company in the bargain.
Well, it's my pleasure. I'm just, killing time, waiting for Peggy.
Oh, I should have known. Whenever I find you two inseparables separated, you're generally waiting to get together again.
Yeah. Peggy, went to Mr. Bauer's office to pick up something for her mother. She's going to come back here and I'm going to take her home.
Mr. Bauer's office?
Yeah, Carson Associates. Apparently her mother left her Social Security card there and Peggy went to find it.
I see. So, how are you and Peggy getting on? Any better since the last time I talked to you at the dance?
About her father, you mean? He's up to his old tricks, I'm afraid. Like getting theater tickets for the same night as the dance, just to break up our date.
Well, if that was a trick, just remember it didn't work, Johnny.
Well, this new one probably will. And it's going to be a lot harder on Peggy and me than anything he's pulled so far.
You make it sound so diabolical.
I think it is. But Peggy thinks it's just beautiful and romantic, and there's no telling her otherwise. He wants to take Peggy and her mother off on a vacation.
Oh, now, Johnny, you better tread carefully here. Family vacation sounds pretty innocent to me.
Oh, sure it does. It sounds lovely. Getting tickets for the theater was lovely, too. And so was having a dinner party after the dance just to keep me from taking Peggy home.
Johnny, are you sure you're not exaggerating this? Just a little?
Well, there you are. You see what I'm up against. I can't convince you, so how am I ever going to convince Peggy?
But you are convinced that he's just doing this to break you two up.
Oh, I know that's why he's doing it. He's trying to keep me away from her as long as possible. And he's out to break us up. Any way he can.
Hi. Want to know my recipe for a good moist cake? So moist, it's brimming with rich, full flavor. The recipe, Duncan Hines Cake Mix. When you pull this tab, you'll get a cake moist as homemade. See? Duncan Hines cake is so moist the crumbs cling together. So moist it's brimming with flavor. For a moist cake, moist as homemade. Remember the recipe. Duncan Hines.
It's wash day for Jill Wade. Her wash is so big and dirty, there's only one way to get it clean.
The bomb! The dirt bomb!
Introducing Salvo's Dirt Bomb. A dime's worth of Salvo has more cleaning power than this much old-fashioned powder detergent. That's why for big, dirty washes...
The bomb! The
this vacation, Johnny. I'm sure she'll miss you.
I hope she will, but it's not going to keep her from going. Peggy's awful close to her family. Apparently lately things, well, they haven't been too great between her mother and her father. Peggy's caught them arguing, things like that. I guess she thinks this vacation is going to pull them closer together.
Well, I can't blame her for wanting that. Peggy's been starved for a family life for years, and I know how that is.
You do?
My mother died when I was born.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know that.
That's okay. I only mention it to show that I know how Peggy feels. I spent most of my childhood dreaming about a family that I never had, wondering what it could have been like, missing it. It can be about the biggest dream in your whole life.
Well, I must admit that Peggy's been a lot happier since her parents got remarried.
Of course she is.
I think it's a little too important to her, though. I was worried about her the other day.
What do you mean?
Well, it turned out to be just a misunderstanding, but for a while there, it looked as if there was something seriously wrong between Peggy's parents. She was just about the unhappiest girl I've ever seen.
Oh, I remember she seemed awfully depressed the other day, but she didn't say what it was about.
Yeah, well, apparently her dream was beginning to crumble. I honestly think that sometimes it's too important. I mean, it means too much, you know what I mean?
I'm afraid you're asking the wrong person, Johnny. It's funny how some people value families more than others do. I've often told Ed that I don't think he appreciates his family enough.
Is there some trouble between Ed and his family?
Why do you ask?
Well, because the other night at the dance, I asked him how they were. He got all buttoned up, especially when I asked him about his father.
I'm afraid it's better not to ask Ed about his father.
Oh.
It's a pretty sore subject where Ed's concerned.
Well, that's funny. Every time I've met Mr. Bauer, he always seemed like a real nice guy.
I've only met him once, but I'm sure he is a real nice guy. The trouble is he's a real nice guy with a drinking problem.
Oh, yeah?
Ed's pretty down about it now. Sometimes I think that he's just not as understanding with his father as he could be.
I remember my dad saying that Mr. Bauer had a drinking problem, but that was a long time ago. What got him started again, do you know?
I guess people who have a real drinking problem are drinking because they're pretty unhappy.
Well, he can't be drinking very long, because otherwise Peggy would have said something to me about it.
Why Peggy?
Well, her mother worked for Mr. Bauer for such a long time, and she was always saying what a wonderful boss he was. Evidently, she thought quite a lot of Mr. Bauer.
I've heard she thought quite a lot of Mr. Bauer. His drinking has started just recently.
Maggie? Are you here? Maggie, you came back.
Mrs. Dates is in the habit of using a popular cooking oil. See what happens when she tastes potatoes fried in an oil she's never tried.
Oh, they're good. They're not oily or soggy.
Because they're fried right in Crisco oil, a vegetable oil without that heavy oily taste. Here's your oil. Here's Crisco oil. Any difference?
This one is very dark. It's yellow. And this one is nice and light.
The light one is Crisco oil. How does Crisco oil taste?
It's not heavy at all. Very good.
And your oil?
I never tasted it before. It's still on my tongue.
Didn't you know about Crisco oil?
Oh, I had heard of it. As I said, I've never used it.
Think you'll try Crisco oil now?
I really will. I like it better. I can't get over the difference.
You discover Crisco oil. It's lighter, high in polyunsaturates, an oil without that heavy, oily taste.
But you're gone. And you're gone right out of my life.
I'm not...
No. You've never been out of my life. I sat in there a minute thinking about you. Maggie, you're not out of my mind any longer. You're not out for long because I'm sorry. I've been drinking. I sat in there. I was thinking about you and about our past. I was drinking. I drank too much. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
No, it's not all right. No, it's far from all right. I messed up your life. My life. My wife, my son, my father. He's my latest victim, you know, my father. Incidentally, I messed up the office, too. You can't work and drink at the same time. So I drink.
Why?
What?
Nothing.
Nothing. That's what my whole life is full of, nothing. Ever since you went away, a beautiful, big nothing. You don't know how much I've missed you, Maggie. Every morning I used to come to the office, see you. I was happy. I was going to talk to you, work. I just drag here, because you know why? Because the office reminds me of you, of us, of a dream. Never going to come true.
What dream?
Beautiful dream. Never. Maggie, since we said goodbye, everything's gone to pot. Everything. Family's gone to pot. Office gone to pot. I've gone to pot. How's your life been, Maggie? Must be awful for you, just awful. Last thing in the world I want to do to you. The last thing in the world.
What?
Marry that clod. That Ben Scott again. Last thing in the world. I often think how miserable your life must be. Oh, poor kid. It's all my fault, too, like everything else. It's all my fault.
Why your fault?
Oh, the letter. The letter I asked you right when we said goodbye.
What letter?
The love letter, Maggie, you know. The love letter I asked you to write me, and I never read it. And Ben Scott, he read it, though. He read it. When he's used to hook you into marrying him again. I wish I hadn't asked you to do that. I'll keep my big mouth shut. You never marry the Ben. Forgive me, Maggie. Please forgive me, Maggie. Please. Please, Maggie. Maggie.
The Guiding Light has been presented by Pure Digestible Crisco Oil, a vegetable oil without a heavy, oily taste.